You wake up, you eat, you scroll, you work, you come home, you eat again, you scroll again, you sleep. And somewhere between all of that, you feel it. Not sadness exactly, not pain exactly. Just this hollow gray emptiness that sits in your chest and doesn't leave. You tell yourself you're fine. You have food, you have shelter, you have a phone with access to all of human knowledge in your pocket. So why does it feel like something is deeply, fundamentally wrong? Here's the answer nobody is telling you. Your brain is not broken. Your brain is ancient, and it is running a 300,000-year-old program in a world that is only 200 years old. The human brain took 300,000 years to build itself, 300,000 years of evolution, of survival, of living in small, tight groups of 30 to 50 people around a fire. For 99% of that time, your brain learned exactly three things: find food, stay safe, stay connected. That's it. That was the entire operating system of the human mind. Now fast forward to today. In the last 200 years, which is literally 0.06% of human history, we invented factories, skyscrapers, social media, artificial light, processed food, 9-to-5 schedules, and a culture that tells you that asking for help is weakness. Your brain didn't get the update. It is still running the ancient program, still scanning for predators, still desperately searching for the tribe, still expecting the world to look like a campfire and 30 familiar faces. Instead, it wakes up every morning to traffic, fluorescent lights, strangers, screens, and a calendar full of obligations to people it has never once shared a meal with. And your brain calls this depression. We've been thinking about depression completely wrong. We treat it like a malfunction, like something broke inside you, like your brain is the problem. But what if depression isn't a malfunction at all? What if it's a warning signal? Think about what happens when you put a wolf in a cage. It stops eating. It paces endlessly. It loses interest in everything. Scientists call this zoochosis, the madness caused by an environment that completely contradicts the animal's biology. Now tell me, when a human stops eating, when they stop leaving the house, when they lose interest in everything and feel trapped and hopeless and empty, what do we call that? We call it a disorder. We give it a name in a medical textbook. We prescribe a pill. But nobody asks the most important question. What if the cage is the problem? Johann Hari, in his book Lost Connections, spent 3 years interviewing scientists around the world about depression, and what he found shook everything we thought we knew. He found that in cultures where people still live in tight communities, where loneliness is rare, where work is meaningful, where people feel connected to something larger than themselves, depression is almost non-existent. Not rare, almost non-existent. The brain isn't broken. The world is broken, and your brain is the only one honest enough to say so. Johann Hari identified 9 real causes of depression, and almost none of them are chemical. Number 1. Disconnection from other people. We were built to live in tribes of 30 to 50. Today, the average person has fewer than 3 close friends. 3 out of 8 billion people on this planet. Number 2. Disconnection from meaningful work. For 300,000 years, when you hunted an animal or grew a crop, you could see the direct result of your effort. Today, millions of people spend their entire lives moving numbers between spreadsheets and can't tell you what they actually produced. Number 3. Disconnection from meaningful values. We were told that if you buy the right things, wear the right clothes, drive the right car, you will be happy. We believed it. We bought everything, and we are the most depressed generation in recorded history. Number 4. Disconnection from childhood trauma. The ACE study's Adverse Childhood Experiences found that childhood trauma directly predicts adult depression with shocking accuracy. Not sometimes, consistently. Number 5. Disconnection from status and respect. In a tribe, everyone had a role. Everyone mattered. Today, millions of people feel invisible, replaceable, like a number in a system that doesn't need them. Number 6. Disconnection from the natural world. We spent 300,000 years sleeping under stars, walking on dirt, swimming in rivers. Studies show that spending just 2 hours per week in nature reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, by 21%. 2 hours. Most people can't remember the last time they touched actual soil. Number 7. Disconnection from a hopeful future. Your ancient brain was designed to solve today's problems. Hunt today, eat today, sleep tonight. Modern life asks you to sacrifice today for a retirement fund you might never reach. Your brain doesn't understand delayed gratification at this scale. It just feels hopeless. Number 8. The real role of genes. Yes, genetics play a role, but genes are not destiny. They are a loaded gun. The environment pulls the trigger. Number 9. And perhaps the most devastating. The loss of the tribe itself. Not just friends, not just family. The deep biological need to belong to a group that knows you, needs you, and would notice if you were gone. When was the last time you felt truly deeply known by someone? Take your time answering that. For decades, we were told one story about depression. Your brain doesn't make enough serotonin. Take this pill. The pill adds serotonin. You feel better. Problem solved. It was clean. It was simple. It was almost entirely wrong. In 2022, a landmark study published in Molecular Psychiatry, the largest review of its kind ever conducted, analyzed decades of research and concluded that there is no consistent evidence that depression is caused by low serotonin levels. Read that again. The chemical imbalance theory, the foundation of how we've treated depression for 50 years, has no consistent scientific evidence behind it. This doesn't mean antidepressants don't help people. For many people, they absolutely do. And if you are on medication, please don't stop without talking to a doctor. But it means we have been treating a symptom while completely ignoring the disease. We gave the wolf in the cage a pill to make it stop pacing. We never once asked why it was in a cage. Like remembering something you never personally experienced but somehow miss. Here is what your ancestors had that you don't. They had a tribe that knew their name, not their username, their actual name, and their story. They had work that produced something real and visible before the sun went down. They had movement. The average hunter-gatherer walked between 10 and 16 kilometers every single day. Not on a treadmill staring at a wall. Through forests, across rivers, under open sky. They had complete darkness at night. Real darkness. The kind that tells your brain it is time to rest. Not the blue light of a screen at midnight that convinces your ancient brain it is noon. They had a future that made sense. Hunt today, eat tonight. The plan was simple and the reward was immediate. They had physical touch, constant, casual, unremarkable physical contact with other humans every single day. Studies show that a 20-second hug releases enough oxytocin to measurably reduce blood pressure and cortisol. 20 seconds. When did you last hug someone for 20 seconds? And finally, they had meaning. Not purpose written on a vision board. Real meaning. The kind that comes from knowing that the people around you are alive tonight, partly because of something you did today. Your brain is not asking for much. It is asking for exactly what it was built for, and we have systematically removed every single one of those things from modern life. So here is the question that should keep you awake tonight. What if we've built the most advanced civilization in the history of the planet, and it is making us sick? What if the anxiety you feel is not weakness? What if the emptiness is not a flaw? What if your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do, screaming at you that something is deeply wrong with the environment you are living in? The wolf doesn't pace because it is mentally ill. It paces because it remembers what it felt like to run. You don't feel empty because you are broken. You feel empty because some part of you, ancient, wordless, cellular, remembers what it felt like to belong. Not to a city, not to a brand, not to a following, to a fire, to a circle of faces that knew yours. To a world where you mattered not because of what you produced, but simply because you were there. Depression is not your brain betraying you. It is your brain refusing to pretend that this is enough, and maybe, just maybe, that refusal is the most human thing about you. I want to be clear about something. This video is not telling you to abandon modern life and go live in a forest. That's not the point. The point is this. The things that heal depression, real human connection, meaningful work, movement, nature, belonging, none of them require money. None of them require a prescription, and none of them are complicated. They just require you to stop pretending that the cage is comfortable. Call the person you've been meaning to call for 6 months. Go outside without your phone. Find one thing you do today that produces something real. Sit with someone in silence and let that be enough. Your brain is not broken, it is ancient, and it is asking you, very loudly, very persistently, to come back home. If this video made you think, share it with one person who needs to hear it. Not for the algorithm, for them, and I'll see you in the next one.